Welcome back to Sip and Talk.
Hey, everyone.
So glad you could join us. Today, we're digging into something really cool, actually. It came from our good friend Micky.
Micky, yeah.
Yeah, he just finished this book, sent over his notes, a summary. And honestly, it sounds totally perfect for what we do here on Sip and Talk.
Oh, interesting. What's it called?
It's called How to Find a Black Cat in a Dark Room.
Okay, that title alone. I'm intrigued. It's got that kind of whimsical feel, doesn't it? Made me chuckle.
For sure. It really grabs you. Yeah. So our mission today, our usual Sip and Talk approach, is to kind of pull this book apart.
Right.
Who wrote it? What are the big ideas we can take away? And, how can it actually help you sort of navigate life when things feel a bit, messy?
Sounds good. Let's untangle it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so this book, How to Find a Black Cat in a Dark Room, it's by Jacob Burek. You might also see his name as Yakov Braka.
Okay.
Came out back in 2013. And that title, it's really a metaphor, right?
Yeah, it feels like it.
It's about finding meaning, finding clarity, when everything just feels uncertain, maybe a bit chaotic.
Right, like you're literally fumbling around in the dark, searching for something you can't quite see, but you know it's there.
Exactly, and that something is often, meaning in your own life.
And Jacob Burek, the author, he sounds like a really interesting guy.
Yeah, his background's pretty diverse.
He's Israeli, was a naval officer, then a venture capitalist.
Wow, okay.
And now he's focused on writing and social work, so, he's seen a lot.
Yeah.
Military strategy, business, helping people.
That kind of breadth of experience definitely comes through. What's really cool is how he mixes things up.
How so?
Well, he pulls from science, psychology experiments, even mythology, and he uses humor, too.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Yeah, me too. It helps break down these complex psychological ideas. The goal is basically to help you overcome stuff like fear or biases, even a bit of narcissism, to live a more, meaningful life.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. One of the big themes is, why do smart people make stupid mistakes?
Oh, yeah. I've been there.
Totally raising my hand right now. Yes, definitely been there.
You and me both. And the book gets right into cognitive biases.
Right, those mental shortcuts.
Exactly. The ones our brains take that, sometimes lead us down the wrong path, like confirmation bias.
Yeah, where you only look for stuff that proves what you already think.
Precisely. You ignore anything that contradicts it. Or there's the availability heuristic. That's where we think things that just pop into our minds easily must be more common or important than they really are.
Gotcha. It's like when you buy a new car, right? And suddenly you see that same car everywhere.
Yes, exactly that.
You think, wow, everyone's buying this car. But really, your brain's just noticing it more now.
Your brain's filtering for it. There's actually a quote in the book, something like, we tend to overestimate what we can achieve in a day.
Oh, I think I know this one.
But underestimate what we can achieve in a year.
Yes. So true. We get bogged down on the daily grind and forget the long game.
Totally. And it connects to something called decision fatigue.
Okay, tell me more.
Think about it. End of a long day. You've made a million tiny choices already. What to wear, what to eat.
Right. Which email to answer first?
Mm-hmm.
Your brain is just tired. Your mental energy is drained.
Makes sense.
And that's when you're way more likely to make a bad call. Or an impulsive one.
Like eating that entire pint of ice cream after work. Asking for a friend.
Exactly like that. Your willpower is shot.
Yeah.
The book helps you recognize these things.
So, okay, understanding these biases and the fatigue is one thing. But what does the book suggest we do about it? It gets into intuition influence.
Yeah, exactly. It dives into intuition, trusting your gut, but also knowing when not to trust it. When it might be a bias talking.
That's a fine line, isn't it?
It really is. And then there's influence, how our surroundings, other people, how they shape what we do, often without us even realizing it. Like peer pressure, but maybe more subtle.
Sort of, yeah. It might touch on things like, Cialdini's principles, like social proof you're more likely to do something if you see others doing it.
The everyone's doing it effect. Yeah, that's powerful. And what about decision-making traps?
It offers ways to avoid common one, like the anchoring effect.
Oh, I know this one. Like when a salesman throws out a crazy high price first.
Right, that's the anchor.
And then the discounted price, if it's still high, suddenly looks amazing in comparison.
Exactly. You're anchored to that first number. The book helps you spot that, so you decide based on actual value, not just the initial anchor.
Smart. And trust. That seems like a big one.
Huge. It looks at how we build trust, how we maintain it. It's fundamental, right, for personal happiness, for society to even work.
For sure.
Think about those like trust games in economics, where people decide how much to risk based on whether they trust the other person. It shows how core it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, this sounds super practical.
Well, this next part is really where the rubber meets the road. The book lays out these 10 happiness rules.
Ooh, okay. Rules for happiness. I'm listening.
And the main takeaway, happiness isn't really about the external stuff, like money or success. Not primarily, anyway.
Interested.
It's much more about, like, internal adjustments, changes in how you think and behave.
Okay, so what are these rules? Let's break them down. How can they help, you listening right now?
All right, rule 1. Happiness isn't mainly about economic success.
Right, the whole money can't buy happiness thing.
Yeah.
But, with research behind it.
Exactly. It echoes that Easterlin paradox idea. Once your basic needs are met, more money doesn't reliably lead to more happiness.
Okay, number 2.
Invest in experiences, not stuff.
I love this one. Trips, concerts, learning something new.
Yeah. Research shows those bring more lasting joy than buying, say, a new gadget. Experiences create memories, often involve connection.
Makes sense. Number 3.
Make time for physical exercise. Simple, but crucial.
We all know we should.
Right. But it's not just physical. It boosts mood, reduces stress. Endorphins.
True. Okay, 4.
Develop close social relationships. This one's massive.
Yeah, connection seems key.
Absolutely. Studies, like that huge Harvard one that ran for 80 years.
Oh, wow.
They consistently show strong relationships are maybe the biggest predictor of long-term health and happiness. Micky's notes really hit this hard, too.
Good relationships keep us going. Got it. 5.
Get enough rest. Sleep.
Another one we neglect.
Totally. Lack of sleep messes with everything. Anxiety, thinking, emotions. Gotta prioritize it.
6.
Control your time, set achievable goals.
So feeling in control and making progress.
Yeah. Setting realistic goals, even small ones, and hitting them gives you that sense of accomplishment. It builds momentum.
7.
Do things in a flow state.
Flow. Like getting totally lost in something you enjoy.
Exactly. That feeling where time just disappears, you're totally absorbed, energized. Find activities that do that for you.
Okay, number 8.
Turn off the TV. Or, reduce mindless screen time generally.
Less scrolling, more living.
Pretty much. Be intentional with that time.
9.
Step outside yourself and help others. Altruism.
Helping others makes you feel good.
It really does. Studies on gratitude, volunteering, it boosts your own well-being, creates purpose.
And finally, number 10.
Be grateful, don't just chase happiness.
Ooh, that's interesting. What's the difference?
Well, actively practicing gratitude, noticing the good things that boost happiness, but constantly pursuing happiness, like it's some destination you have to reach, that can actually make it harder to find.
Because you're never satisfied with the now.
Exactly. You're always looking for the next thing instead of appreciating what you have.
Wow. Those are those are really solid.
And they're all backed by behavioral science. It's about taking action, not just wishing things were different.
Right. But the book also talks about the negative stuff holding us back, doesn't it? Fear, prejudice.
Yes. Fear, prejudice, narcissism, even needing everything to be perfectly in order all the time. It shows how these things sabotage our happiness.
Oh, so?
They narrow our perspective, make us rigid, stop us from connecting. The book gives you ways to spot these patterns and shift your behavior. There's a great line. We overvalue confidence, but forget the power of humility.
That hits deep. Humility isn't always valued, is it?
Not nearly enough. And Micky's notes pulled out some specific deep dives on related ideas that are fascinating.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, first, regret.
Regret. We all know that feeling.
Right. But the book distinguishes between regretting something you did.
Which usually fades, right?
Often, yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually shorter-term pain versus regretting something you didn't do.
Oh, boy. That one stings longer.
Much longer. Often. Think about those top 5 regrets of the dying list. They're almost always about things people wish they'd done.
Didn't live true to themselves. Didn't express feelings.
Exactly. So Micky's notes suggested writing an I don't want to regret list and then taking tiny micro actions now to avoid those future regrets.
Proactive regret prevention. I like it. What else?
Then there's egocentric bias, the self-centered bias.
Thinking it's all about me or that I did more than I did.
Pretty much. Like on a team project, everyone thinks they did most of the work, or how most drivers think they're above average.
Guilty as charged, probably.
We all are, a bit. The book suggests things like reverse thinking, really trying to see it from the other person's side, or even describing a situation in the third person to get some emotional distance.
Detaching a bit. Okay, next.
False memory. This one is wild.
Like remembering things that didn't happen.
Exactly. Studies show a surprisingly high number of people can be led to remember entire events, even crimes, that are completely fabricated.
Whoa. That's scary, especially for things like eyewitness testimony.
Huge implications. The takeaway is memory humility. Don't just assume your memory is a perfect recording. It's not.
It's more like a reconstruction influenced by everything else.
Precisely. Yeah. So cross-reference, check records, get other viewpoints for big decisions.
Good advice. Okay, what else did Micky highlight?
The power of embarrassment. This is one of my favorites, too.
Embarrassment is powerful. How it just feels awful.
Well, yeah, it feels awkward. But think about blushing. It's a social signal.
A signal of what? That I want the ground to swallow me whole.
Huh. Maybe. But it also signals that you care what others think, that you recognize you broke a social norm, that you're human.
Ah, okay, so it shows vulnerability.
Yes. Well. And people are actually more likely to trust and forgive someone who shows genuine embarrassment. It makes you seem more real, more honest, like Brené Brown's work on vulnerability.
Makes sense. It shows you're not a sociopath, basically.
Kind of. And finally, competition's double-edged.
How competition can be good or bad.
Exactly. It can push us to be better, or it can become destructive. It depends on the mindset. Research found that if competitors respect each other, it actually fuels growth for both.
Like Federer and Nadal. Fierce rivals, but tons of respect.
Perfect example. They pushed each other to greatness. The book talks about aiming for a positive-sum game where everyone can grow, rather than a zero-sum game where someone has to lose.
The fiercer the competition, the more opportunities you have to excel. Right, if you approach it constructively.
That's the idea. It's about channeling that competitive energy positively.
Man, lots of good stuff there. So, back to the author Jacob Burak. He shifted from venture capital to writing and social causes.
Yeah, quite a pivot. He even founded organizations that evaluate charities, trying to bring some rigor to that sector. He's written other books, too.
And how was this book received? Did people like it? Micky's notes mentioned mixed reviews.
A bit mixed, yeah, but generally positive. Some people, like one reviewer Micky mentioned, Maria Sinadinos, absolutely loved its clarity and practicality, found it really helpful for self-improvement.
But not everyone.
Right. Others, like a reviewer named Tim, apparently found it a bit disjointed, maybe some issues with the translation for them. Lots of praise for the decision-making parts, it seems. But, you know, books are personal. What clicks for one person might not for another.
Totally true. Different strokes.
So, wrapping it all up, what Micky's notes and the book itself really drive home is, well, it's not just about understanding yourself.
Right. It's bigger than that.
Yeah, it's just as much about understanding other people, our shared quirks, our vulnerabilities, how we all bump into each other in this messy world.
I like that.
It's kind of like a friendly guide that says, look, you don't have to be perfectly rational all the time. Nobody is. But you can try to be a bit more aware, a bit more human.
That's a fantastic way to put it. Not about conquering human nature, but seeing how, I don't know, delightfully complex and maybe even transparent we all are sometimes.
Exactly. It's a great way to approach life, I think.
Me too. So, Micky, seriously, thanks for sending this stuff over. You've given us and everyone listening a ton of great stuff to chew on.
Absolutely. And hey, if you enjoyed the Sip and Talk, please make sure you subscribe to Sip and Talk wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, do it. And while you're hitting subscribe buttons, do our buddy Micky a solid and check out his YouTube channel too.
Oh, yeah. What's he got over there?
All sorts of fun stuff. Memes, music, wine tasting, travel vlogs.
Yeah.
The works.
Nice.
Seriously, we've been pushing his channel so hard. He owes us at least, what, few hundred subscribers by now, right?
Definitely. Minimum. Thanks, everyone, for joining us for Sip and Talk.
We'll catch you next time.